everything changes.
Welcome in, guys, and it's true. This is how I paid the IRS $48,161 in federal income tax for last year, 2019-2020. So a lot of people are going to know, wow, and they're going to say, whoa, who wants to pay a lot of taxes? And the answer is nobody. But there's two rules of thumb that I live by, and the first one is the one you guys hear. All you got to do is live and die and pay taxes, right? Is that the old saying? The second thing is, when it comes to business, do things correctly, do it on the up and up. Don't ever have that stress in the back of your mind of, owing the IRS money or not getting your taxes done or having to worry about back taxes or penalties. Just get them done and paid, and your stress, the relief is amazing, even when it's $48,161. Let's talk about how it happened. Let's talk about my income. Let's break it down. I'm going to show it to you on the computer, iPad, me talking to you. I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of where I am and why I did it this way. There were two reasons other than the obvious: pay the IRS what you owe them and don't screw around. And one was because I had a very big year. And so when you have bigger years, of course, even the best CPAs in the business can only get it so low. When you make money, you owe money. That's just how it goes. And the second reason is, many of you know, at the beginning of this year, at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, in about 5 to 6 months, I'm going to be moving into a much larger house. And when you make a purchase, such as a car or a house, not so much a car, because cars, they'll go off of your income, but taxes, you have to provide your most recent 2 years of taxes. And the house I'm moving into is quite large, and they wanted a lot of income to prove that I could afford to pay for the house. And so the taxes needed to reflect the size of the house I'm buying. So with that said, let's go over and I will show you guys exactly how $48,161 worth of taxes came about. Okay, so you guys can see this is an actual screen grab / video recording from one of my bank accounts. And I'm showing you guys the inside story. It's perfectly fine. You can see on June 24th, 2020, which was just about 2 weeks ago, a IRS USA tax payment in the amount of $29,954. That's $30,000. And that is for my 2019 federal income taxes. They're due by July 15th. When you watch this video, you're down to about a week left to file them, a little less than a week. The second one is a customer withdrawal image. This was a cashier's check. I actually withdrew the money for $18,207 to buy a certified bank check directly from my bank, which is Bank of America. And I sent that check to the IRS for my 2018-2019 taxes. And the reason that those aren't filed is because I opted for an extension that year because we had some issues with some of the numbers, couldn't figure them out, was trying to get it put together. And then during that extension, when the CPA was going to file the paperwork and the payments, of course, coronavirus started, everything went crazy, and they gave me until the end of this tax season to also file my 18s. It did cost me a little bit, a couple $100 to be able to stretch it out that long. It wasn't all of that much money, but it was worth it for me to make sure that it was correct. And so I did have to submit 2 tax payments this year. One for last year and one for this year. Now, when you do that, the reason that I was able to electronically pay this year's, the $29,954, is because the IRS allows electronic filing and paying for the current year. If it's a past year and you have back taxes, or you're filing for an extended year, you have to mail it in on paper. So I did have to print them out and pack them up in an envelope, include that certified check for $18,207, and I sent it USPS Express certified, signature required return receipt to make sure that they got it, which they did, and everything's good. So that is those numbers. Now let's go over to the actual tax returns, and I'm going to have to black some of it out, of course, but I want to show you guys exactly the breakdown of how it ended up being this and how much money was made. Okay, so this is a document on my computer with the 2019. It'll look same in 2018, just lower numbers. So I want to give you guys kind of just a little overlay. This is absolutely probably the most behind the scenes you're going to see of anybody's tax return. So whenever you're watching someone who says, oh, I make X money, I do this, can they show you their tax returns? Because that's really the proof in the pudding. Now, I actually have multiple. Of course, I have my LLC, which you're going to see a little bit of the filing. There are others, but this is the basic one that you have to see. I do have other tax forms and other incomes and other things that are not shown here, but this is just to give you guys an idea of like the reselling side. So it's showing almost $200,000. You guys can see that top line, $190,739. If you look down below that, there's a $177,000 gross profit. $177,839 was the profit on the business, right? So again, I have social media, YouTube, all kinds of other things. So that makes profit on that stuff 100%, but $177,839. So as we come down, there's a list of expenses, and you guys can see it, advertising expenses, $119. I didn't really buy any business cards. I don't do billboards or radio or TV. There's very few things I do to advertise. So $120 for the whole year. And really that's just the cost of one little thing that I have, like some thank you slips. So then we've got the car and truck expense, which is $59.99. Now I don't deduct the cost of my car or the payments. That would be stupidity. That would be dumb. It's just way too much money. What I do claim is the mileage, because no matter what kind of car you drive or how expensive or cheap it is, the amount of miles you drive to pick up merchandise and advertising and all that stuff, that all counts as long as you're going to do stuff that's business related. And I do drive a decent amount of miles. And also you can claim regular maintenance and upkeep to keep that car going because you do use it for business. Now, mine is only about 50% business. So that's what I got. The next one is commission and fees. This is what I paid out to places like to eBay for their fees. Now, if you come down here to depreciation expense, that $1162 is equipment that I am depreciating. Things like computers, iPads, equipment, actual things that I use and keep. Okay. The next one is mortgage interest, $7,452, and other, $4,780. That is any kind of bank fees, credit card interest, if I used a credit card, all kinds of stuff. Office expenses, $610. That's things that you throw away. Things like toner, ink, pens, paper, labels, stuff like that. So that's the cost. Probably that $610, if I had to guess, was the cost of the labels that I bought this year. Cost of probably bought some pens, markers. There's all kinds of little random things in there. Supplies, that would be things that I spent, bubble wrap, envelopes, stuff like that. Again, I probably spend, I don't know, $50 a month, $100 a month. So that makes sense, $531. Travel and meals, $1,780. Again, that's back in 2019 for travel and meals. Which is odd to me because we went to Vegas. Oh, I don't claim meals. I don't really do meals and entertainment because it kind of is a red flag and you don't want to overdo it and push your luck. So I never claim that. The $1,780 would have been the cost of our hotel and plane tickets. So I believe the plane tickets were $650 and I believe the hotel was a little over $1,000. So that's what I claimed for that. Only the hotel and plane tickets. And then deductible meals, $540. So I didn't claim the Vegas meals. What I did claim is we had like the eBay live, eBay open dinner for everyone. So I paid like a $250 or $300 dinner, and then meals during the conference. So I don't do it on a regular basis during the year. I did do it during the conference because that's a deductible conference for me. And then the other expenses, 27A, which was $21,279. So those other expenses are going to be everything from PayPal fees to the cost of my website, to the cost of my accounting programs, to the cost of my email, subscription email that I'm able to bulk send emails out. That's everything else that I spend over the course of the year costs me about $1,500 to $1,600 a month easily, if not $1,700 or $1,800. So there's the cost of that. My total expenses for the year were $56,101. So my business makes almost $180,000 to $190,000 in profit, and it spends $56,000, which the IRS is then able to tax me on $121,738. So the business making, upwards high 100s to 200 in profit, but only taxed on $121,738. And the reason is because you put that money to use for your business. And so The tax cutoff for profitable taxability is $159,000. You can look that tax bracket up. I'll probably put a picture of it in the corner. So with that said, in the 121,738, it's a 24% tax bracket, which gives you that $29,217 odd whatever dollars it was, almost $30,000 that I paid out. So that is just one example of income and the reason that the IRS taxes the way it does. If that taxable line, that 121, was above 159, it would go up at 159,000 and change some number. It goes up to 32%, which would be owing. If you make 159,000 in profitable taxable income, it's over 50 grand you would owe the IRS. So I'd go from being 30,000. Of course, I would make an extra 38,000, but I would owe them an additional 20. So by making 38,000 more, they keep 20, and I only get to keep 18 of the additional 30 of the additional 38,000. So there's the breakdown of how a $30,000 tax bill comes about. And yes, all of these expenses are legitimate. They're receipted, and there really wasn't much more I could have put in there. There are some things maybe to get it a little lower, but I was happy with this because I pay them. There's nothing they can argue with. I've got all the receipts, and my income, is as high as it is for the mortgage company to look at and see, okay, he makes, after all of his expenses, he's making, $10,000, $11,000 a month, clean and clear. And then, even before that, he's making, $16,000 a month. So, in gross profit, remember that's profit, $16,000 a month in profit. If you take, I think that's the number, right? 177,839 divided by 12. Oh, it's 15. It's about $15,000 a month in clear profit. So there you guys go. That's the numbers. And, again, there's other incomes, there's social medias, there's YouTubes, there's other stuff that are registered under other things. But hopefully this will clear up how a $29,000 tax bill comes about. So hopefully you guys kind of see, when you start making money, making $15,000 to $20,000 a month in profit, what you can expect to have to pay the IRS. It seems like a very daunting task. It's really not. For the most of you that make a couple thousand a month in profit, let's just say $3,000 a month, you end up making $40,000 for the year. Your taxable income after you spend expenses might be $30,000, and at 24%, you may owe $6,000, $5,000. A good CPA can get it down pretty well to 20% or less. Once you start hitting big numbers above six figures in profits and stuff, it gets to be a little bit harder. There's also talk, I know some of the accountants that watch my video are going to tell me to change to a C Corp or an S Corp or whatever. It's in the talks for 2021 for me to be a Corp as opposed to an LLC. There's a lot of big differences. Many of you watching this video are definitely going to comment down below the difference in corporations, LLCs, positive, how to find a tax pro. Definitely want one that's local to you, that can help you, that can sit down with you, especially after everything that's happened. So you do still have a week. It's not too late to get it in. You can file an extension. It's really not that expensive. And there aren't really a lot of penalties as long as you give them the numbers, and you can arrange payment plans. Also, if you don't exactly put the money away to pay them, I paid it in full. It's done. It's over with. So long story short, pay the man, pay the country, pay the IRS, whether we like them or not. You got to do it. Don't go to jail. Don't get in trouble. And here's to a better 2021. Make sure you're tracking your numbers in 2020. As always, my package, my 2020 bundle, it's below, includes a complete breakdown of how to track your numbers for expenses and sales and profits and inventory through Excel, QuickBooks, through Google Sheets, through whatever you want to use. That way, when you come up to these papers, you can just fill those blocks in very, very easily. It walks you through it, and you're all set. You just fill those numbers in, and the IRS calculations will do the rest. They'll tell you how much you owe, how much you're getting back. You can give it to a CPA to have them double check it, and you'll be all set. That package is linked below. If you want it, pick it up. One-time payment, 2020. It includes eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, accounting, social media, Instagram, webinars, how to source, affiliates, everything that you need to get your reselling off the ground and to track the money and the numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. As always, thanks for watching. Video thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll have some more great content for you guys tomorrow, including the live show at 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, July 9th, 2020. I'll see you guys there.